I see people joining. Hello, everyone. We'll just wait for everyone else to join. 1 second. Hi, everyone who's joining. We're just waiting for everyone else to come in. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Alexa. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Spencer. Adizakbo, Dev. I see you all. We're just waiting for everybody else to join. We'll give them a couple more minutes. People are probably getting back home. I'll give them a couple more minutes and then we'll start at 6:10. I want to make sure everybody can make it on time. So we'll give them a couple more minutes and then we'll start at 6:10. I was talking to myself. Thank you guys for being understanding. I see some people in the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Where's everyone signing in from? Put your location in your city. Put your city in the comment. Let me see where everyone is from. I'm in Toronto right now. The weather was great today, 7 degrees. I consider that spring. So I was very happy. Mississauga, that's where I work. Toronto, Windsor, Guelph. Nice, nice. Toronto, I see. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the good weather. I'm not sure how far it reaches because we know Canada is very wide. One city can be having one weather and another city can be having a different weather. So I can't guarantee that everybody had a great weather today, but hopefully that was the case. One more minute and then we can start. Okay, let's begin. Oh, someone said the weather was much better yesterday. True, very true. It was sunny, so it was much better. Okay, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule for us to all meet and convene. Good evening. Welcome to the National Engineering Month. And this session is going to be called a Head Start for International Students in Engineering. I was once an international student, and so I'm very passionate about making sure that my fellow international students get a head start. There's so many blind spots that we have just because of the big shift. It's a big deal for us coming from the different countries we come from to a whole new place and trying to settle in socially, trying to settle in economically, sometimes academically, professionally, environmentally, because some of us are from nice tropical countries, and coming to Canada, it is very cold. So, yes, I know there's a lot that we go through as international students. So I wanted to have this workshop specifically for us to meet together, to convene, and to see if to give you guys tools that can help you professionally to succeed. One of the biggest things that I push seriously is co-op and internships, um, because it's a trickle down effect. The steps that you take when you're in school have an effect on when you come out of school. And for people who decide to stay here, and even if you don't decide to stay here, it all starts from when you're in school. So I take it very seriously, and I want to always push that agenda of co-op and internships and how to stand out and what you need to be doing. And also just for you to talk to me and give me some feedback on some feedback or some questions that you have on the job search process and anything around that. Questions from international students would be more unique than people who have been here. So I just want to be that vessel to be able to give you guys some perspective and some layers to it. Before we begin, I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge that we are coming to you from Toronto, which is in the dish with one spoon territory. We respectfully acknowledge the past and present traditional stewards of the land and their unique role in the life of the region. Toronto is on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, sorry, Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. We pay our respect to the elders past, present, and emerging. As settlers, we are grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and play in this territory. So I think that's important for us to do beforehand. Okay, so I think we can jump into the session for today, which is a head start for international students in engineering. Just a brief overview on myself. I went to Ryerson University, now Toronto Metropolitan University, and I studied chemical engineering there, which had a mandatory co-op program, which I'm forever grateful for because it exposed me to all the tools that I needed to succeed before graduation in terms of job search and professional development. And it also allowed me to really see what the application of my chemical engineering studies looks like, right? I didn't have the opportunity to work in the different industries I wanted, but it did expose me to what to expect professionally in a country like Canada. And so I found it very useful. I am now a PN, so I'm a licensed engineer now, and I work at Thermo Fisher Scientific currently as an engineering project manager. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry my whole career, pharmaceutical manufacturing my whole career, where I've optimized different processes for different types of production, including vaccine manufacturing, including generic medicine, and now solid dose manufacturing is where I'm at, so tablets and capsules. And I'm also the founder of Head Start for All. Head Start for All is my business where I'm very passionate about providing people with professional tools to succeed. This includes resumes, cover letters, interview preparation, and LinkedIn revamps. And under that as well, I hope to do more workshops for international students and just to create a safe space for us to propel each other forward. Okay, so the agenda for today, how do we ensure international students in engineering succeed? I'm just going to do a brief introduction, what I learned being an international student in Canada, co-op and internship tips for international students, resume cover letter tips for international students, interview tips as well, which is very important, the power of networking, and then we're going to conclude. And at the end, if you're interested, I hope all of you are, I'm doing a free resume editing raffle draw. So I'm going to be picking 2 people to help them edit their resume, which I think would be very useful and very helpful to some of you, or maybe all of you. So introductions, I think I've already gone over it, but I'm just going to skim through it very quickly. Came to Canada 13 years ago from Nigeria. There's a lot of culture shock that I faced coming here. Studied chemical engineering, and I'm now a project manager at in the pharmaceutical manufacturing space. I'm very passionate about STEM outreach, and this includes me working with different STEM organizations. I've worked with STEM Hub, where I was helping to lead STEM workshops for underprivileged kids. I have worked with Her Revolution to support them for their outreach in providing students with tech. I started a YouTube channel when I left school because I was very passionate about getting the word out there. I used to make a joke about how I don't know how I navigated my engineering degree. Now I know, but I think as the first engineer in my family, I was very confused during my journey. And so when I was done, I just felt like I needed to spread the gospel and tell everyone about how to navigate it as well. And I also had different people from engineering discipline on my channel as well. So that's something I did. And then I eventually was able to take my passion further by starting my business, Head Start for All. And some of the opportunities that I've gotten because of my outreach include me being on an Amazon Prime TV show for one of their engineering shows called Colossal Machine, which I thought was really, really cool. And some of my hobbies include exploring the city. I've been in Toronto for the 13 years that I've been here. So I explored the city, trying new restaurants. Toronto has everything to offer. I love dancing. I've dabbled and dabbled in acting. I was in a I was in a theater show last year that was running throughout the summer. It was called Cinderella. It's an adaptation of Cinderella in a more African style. So that was very interesting. And I love traveling as well. So if you guys can take some time to just tell me about yourself very briefly in the comments section. I want to know a little bit about everyone. Just your name, your university, what you're studying. I think that should be sufficient, just so we can keep it brief and we can keep it concise. And also, if you would like to be considered for the resume editing raffle draw, put a yes as well in your comments. But please share with me. I want to know a little bit about everyone, just so we know a bit more about each other. Oh, can you guys see my presentation? Oh no. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Wow. So sorry. I thought I was sharing my screen. Sorry about that. Oh, wow. So you guys didn't see anything. Okay, I'm just gonna start very briefly just so you can see all the slides because I took time to make this. I want you guys to see everything. So this is let me know if you can see it now actually. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, so while I'm going through the slides again, just very quickly, you guys can keep on introducing yourselves in the comments, and I'll look through quickly. Sorry about that. So our agenda for today, I think I listed it out: introductions, what I learned, co-op internship tips, resume cover letter tips, interview tips for international students, and the power of networking, conclusions, and then a free resume raffle draw. That I find very exciting because my business Head Start for All, I've edited over 50 different resumes, and I've helped a good amount of them to end up going to interviews and some of them landing jobs. And it's something that I have a knack for. So I would love to help two people to be able to do that. So definitely let me know if you're interested in that, and we'll do the raffle after. This was my introduction. I think I've gone through it. And then I was saying, tell me about yourself. Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Okay. I see someone from Seneca College, civil engineering, wants to do land development. Spencer from Toronto Metropolitan University. Woo! You're in the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Science, in communications, here to learn about our team, hear more about our team, and best communicate, support international students. Perfect. Hi, Zakpo. Aerospace Engineering graduate program at Toronto Metropolitan University, international qualified civil engineering graduate. We have cleared academic portion, just waiting for the job experience to complete and submit. That's very exciting. I'm Ka, master student, University of Guelph. Welcome. Mechanical engineering, very nice. Chartered engineer from the UK. I want to join for the resume. Wonderful. I got my mechanical engineering. Welcome, Sina. EIT designate from PEO lately. Love it. Okay, that's great. Madian, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, from University of Guelph. Currently studying engineering systems and computing. International student from Dubai, also interested in the raffle draw. Amazing, 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 amazing. Okay, let's keep it going. So what I can share from my experience, starting with the academics, I would say that there was a bit of culture shock with the change, in terms of how the learning is put through here. So back home, a lot of it is very much cramming and putting things together, and over here a big portion of it is application. Application and really seeing how what you are learning in the classroom is able to be transferred into the practicals. So they do a great job in the universities here to be able to allow you to have that practical experience through labs and different opportunities. That's why the co-op and internship is very important, because they understand the importance of being able to see that application. And that's something that I was very excited about when I took the program at Toronto Metropolitan University. Professionally, what I can share is that everything is linked to each other. There's steps that I took when I was in school that helped when I came out of school, and there's steps that I wish I could have taken while I was in school for me to be able to really navigate the co-op program a lot better. It was challenging for me to be able to get a co-op opportunity here in Canada the first time, so I ended up having to go back home, gain that opportunity, and for my program it was mandatory, so I was not going to graduate if I did not have the co-op work terms I needed. And so it was very important that I was able to look into different opportunities that I could get to be able to make sure I met those requirements. And so I found it very challenging, I can't lie, when I was in school, trying to find different opportunities, co-op and internships. And with the work I've done and still talking to international students currently, I find that they still have that type of struggle as well, either from just lack of awareness on like the program and how it works, or just not having the right tools. A big portion of that, I think, is for me, I also had the same lack of understanding, where I thought the university was going to hand me the co-op and internship opportunities versus actually going to look for it myself. There was also setbacks around the fact that some of those opportunities were not for international students. A lot of them wanted Canadian students or wanted permanent resident students. So there was that setback as well. And also not understanding what it looks like interviewing in a place like this, understanding what they mean when they say tell me about yourself, not understanding how to put your best foot forward when it comes to trying to land a job is something that I struggled with when I was in school, and I was able to navigate throughout my career now that I'm out of school. And most of it is very straightforward. It's mainly about confidence, but it's also about understanding the process that's involved with with the job opportunity, job search, job application process. And so that's something that I preach very seriously. And I want to be able to spread that gospel because it's a lack of knowledge. Once you have that knowledge, you're able to move forward with your process. Socially, I would say this was also a big one for me. I would say when I first came here to Canada, I was a bit timid, I was a bit shy, and I was a bit introverted. There's nothing wrong with being introverted, as long as you're able to understand the importance of people's skills and understand the importance of reaching out to people and talking to people. I know a lot of people in my class were able to get opportunities from their classmates just because they were able to network with them, make friends, and really align in that way. Socially as well, I know people who were able to get different opportunities just by being vocal about what they were looking for, and just sharing about their struggles or sharing about what they needed. Socially, it's also very good for you to find a community as well, either a community of people from where you're from, or a religious community, or a community of engineering people, or a community of technical people. It's important that you're able to find your own community or a group of people that you can lean on, because this journey is not easy, and the transition from what you know to a new space is not easy. And what I can share from my experience is that I benefited greatly when I finally was able to find a community of people that I could rely on, and we could succeed together. Environmentally, what I can share from my experience, I'm still not used to the cold, um, even after 13 years. So I always think of international students who are just coming in and having that sharp transition. It affects the mood. It affects how you're able to show up as your best self sometimes, which is why I'm very happy that in this day and age, there's a lot of advocacy around mental health. And it is taken very seriously, even the universities now. And they're able to really push the agenda enough for students to utilize those resources in case they feel down, utilize those resources in case they're not transitioning properly, or in case they are just feeling down or being homesick. This country has very severe weather changes compared to where I'm from and where most people are from. And so that is something that I think I had to navigate as well. Another thing that helped me was being open-minded to the new place that I was settling in. So I started thinking about, how can I enjoy this new environment? How can I enjoy this new place? I remember I tried snow tubing, and then at some point, another winter, I tried ice skating. So trying to challenge myself to enjoy this weather as much as possible was very helpful. Hopefully in the future, I can try skiing, and really put a stamp on the fact that I am here to stay and I enjoy this weather change. Let me know in the comments if you guys enjoy this cold weather, and if you do any cold sports, if you do any skating or skiing, let me know. And I think if you want to try it, time is of the essence because we're switching to spring very soon. So definitely worth a try. You might fall, but as long as you get back up, that should be fine. Okay, let me move on. Okay. So co-op and internship opportunities. With the highly competitive job market, it's important that students understand the need to stand out and utilize all the resources to secure their future. The job market is continuously changing. It is continuously being competitive. There's more engineering students today than there were before. But that's not something to be scared of if you are putting your best foot forward and if you're prepared. It's just that the only thing that you should know is that you should be ready for stiff competition, because everyone wants great opportunities. You want great opportunities as well. So all you can do is your own part, which is making sure that you have the right tools and you're ready for all those opportunities. So the benefits of co-op slash internship, I would say, is exposure to applications, like I mentioned. It's very important that you're able to see those applications. It's important that you are able to start getting your mind thinking into what it would look like to be an engineer. Start getting your finger on what you're learning in the classroom and how that relates to what they're actually doing in the industry. I make a joke where I say, till today, I really haven't used calculus in my daily operations, but that's just my own experience. Um, Other things, I've been able to apply that to where I'm at. And I'm happy that I was able to have that co-op and internship opportunity to see how some of those things in the classroom can be directly applied, and then see how maybe some of them are not as applicable, but it's good to know as well, just because some of them are foundational materials. So another benefit of this of co-op/internship is to allow you to make better decisions on where you want to be after graduation. Um, before I graduated, I had no experience in the pharmaceutical manufacturing space. I really wanted to get pharmaceutical experience, but it was hard for me to get that. And so most of my experience were around oil and gas, which I went back home for. And my next one was automobile manufacturing, which wasn't an industry that I wanted to get exposure to. But when I did get exposure to it, it was able to expand my horizon and open my mind to the different possibilities. I think that position allowed me to understand manufacturing a bit more and really understand the different applications that are involved. And as a chemical engineer, I think it helped me understand that with chemical engineering, a lot of it is process. And I don't think I would have gotten that insight if I didn't do some of these internships. So while I was in school, even though I didn't get pharmaceutical experience, I was able to learn from my different classmates who got those experiences, and I was able to at least see if I liked something else and if I wanted to make that switch, or see if I was still very keen on getting pharmaceutical experience. Another experience I was very passionate about was oil and gas. I was passionate about trying to get into the oil and gas industry. But as soon as I graduated in 2016 was when the market crashed and oil was not doing well. The oil and gas industry was not doing well at all. And I took that as a sign that maybe I should just focus on pharmaceutical manufacturing. But yes, so there's a lot of curiosity that you're able to stir up from co-ops and internships. Another big thing and big importance of co-op and internships is networking for postgraduate opportunities. I can't tell you the importance of putting your best foot forward when you're in this co-op and internships, because they directly apply to um, opportunities after graduation. They provide you with a network of people to reach out to say, hey, I'm actually done with school. I would love to come back to this company to work for. So it allows you to start building a network of people that you can lean on once you come out of school. Because once you come out of school and you're not working anymore, especially for international students where they need you to get work experience within a certain timeline, it is important that you hit the ground running and you know exactly how you're able to get these opportunities to be able to secure the next step of your professional career. And so that's something that I think it's so amazing with co-op and internships. A lot of people, a lot of companies, if they invest in you, they invest in your training, they invest in your learning, they invest in giving you experience, most likely they will want to hire you back just because they've invested so much in you. And imagine hiring someone who they've put so much effort into versus someone who is keen but also doesn't have that background of experience. So that's where I think the benefit really comes for co-op and internships, is being able to kind of secure you in a way for your future self when you leave school. So another thing I would say with co-op and internship opportunities is taking advantage of the opportunities within your university, back home or from friends. I think there's a very straight line that most people think of when they think of co-op and internships. And I think it's important that everyone expands their horizon on what it looks like. The goal is to be able to apply yourself and to be able to gain professional experience and new skills. And a lot of students have been very smart to be able to reach out to their professors and utilize opportunities within the university if they're not able to get something outside. even if they are able to get something outside, if they feel like they will benefit a lot more from joining a research opportunity in their university, that's something that's really great as well. I saw a lot of students who were not able to secure an internship opportunity outside of school. Secure an internship opportunity, outside of school, but they were able to reach out to their professors who they had a good rapport with, who they had connected with, who they had built a good relationship with, and tell them that, hey, I know you're running this research, which most professors are. I know you're running this research. I would love to join you for my co-op work term to be able to do this. And that will count as a job opportunity. And that would also allow you to apply a good amount of the learning that you've done in school into research opportunities or into different applications within the department. So I think that is something that to me was so great when I heard people doing that. I said, this is amazing. I wish I had the opportunity to do that because I was very passionate about nanotechnology and I wanted a nanotechnology opportunity in the university, but I wasn't able to get one. But people who were able to do that, it really expanded their horizons and built stronger connections and stronger bonds with their department and their professors. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just gonna read the comments very quickly. Someone says, still too cold for me. Not yet tried the winter sports. Fair enough. It's really, really cold. Really cold. Slow and steady. No rush. I've been here 12 years and I still haven't even tried skiing. So no rush. Just take your time, but be open to trying new things that can help you enjoy winter a bit more. Winter is not that enjoyable for me, but it became a little bit more enjoyable when I was in the mindset of enjoying the weather a bit more. So another thing I would say, just to finish off on this slide, in terms of taking advantage of opportunities, would be to see if there are opportunities back home that can transfer into a work term. So if you know that there's opportunities back home where you can apply yourself and gain good experience prior to graduation, I would say it is definitely worth it. That's what I did. Um, I couldn't get an internship co-op my first work term, and I went back home. I went back home to Nigeria. I knew someone who was working in an oil and gas company, and there was a position open. And I went back home and I took that position, and it exposed me to so much information, so much knowledge about the industry. It was very hands-on, and I'm very grateful for taking that time. It also allowed me to be close to my family. It allowed me to be close to my family, to eat my mom's jollof rice, and to enjoy myself while also gaining experience that will be relevant to my degree and relevant to my professional success. So that's something that I did, that I always advise international students to see if they can do that, because it's a win-win if you get to go back home and also get some work opportunities as well. And because it's co-op or internship, it's very valuable to do that without it affecting you and them seeing it as international experience, right? I think most people are a bit iffy about that, but I see it becoming slightly challenging is after graduation. If you do want to stay here, maybe focusing on getting opportunities here versus going back home. So that's where I would say the difference is. From friends as well, I would say a lot of the opportunities that people get is from networking and from directly talking to people they know. There's people in my class who are from Canada, who had family members or brothers, or sisters, fathers, mothers, uncles working in different companies already around us. And so building those networking connections and being able to voice that, hey, if you see an opportunity here, I would love to be alerted. That can really, really help you. That helped me to secure an interview when I was in school from one of my friends whose brother was working in a pharmaceutical company I wanted to get into. It didn't actualize, but it was good to at least give me that experience. And I think it's something that you should definitely think about utilizing. Most people always think about going outside of their norm to go and find opportunities, but sometimes the opportunities are within where you're at, right there in your classroom, right there with your teachers, right there in your university. So really expand your horizon in that way as well. So I think we've touched on this a bit, but I would say common setbacks and struggles. The main is lack of understanding in creating a resume and a cover letter, confusion on building a resume with no prior experience. I think that is the big one. That's where I was confused. What do I put on my resume? I have no experience. How do I stand out? I think that is one of the biggest concerns. But there's always ways around. There's always ways to get around these things. And there's people who had no experience at some point and now have so much experience. So how did that happen? Is the fact that they were able to really utilize what they do have to sell themselves as a great candidate for those opportunities. Another thing I would say is the lack of understanding on what to expect from the interview process, which is a big thing. No clarity on the student hiring process in companies. Some opportunities only prioritize Canadian and permanent resident students, and failure to utilize academic resources and opportunities, like I mentioned. Circling back to the no clarity on the student hiring process in companies, I would say that's something that I've realized is very common. A lot of people don't know what to expect in the hiring process. Someone said jollof bangs. That's funny. I'm happy that people know jollof. Jollof is amazing. Nigerian jollof only, but yes. So I would say there's a lack of clarity in what the process looks like, which ultimately is just as important. I think understanding what you need to do during the phone screening versus an in-person interview versus an online interview versus how long it takes for them to get back to you. Different things around the whole process. I think it's a bit confusing to some students because you don't know what you don't know, right? And you're also just starting off. So I think understanding what the hiring process looks like, understanding how to put your best foot forward, understanding how to take things further from one step to the other, I think will be very useful as well. Interview process is a big one. Understanding how to put your best foot forward, what these questions are that they're asking. I remember when they asked me, tell me about yourself in my first interview ever. I told them my name is Vanessa. I like yellow. I am a smart student. I just didn't have the structure that they were looking for from that question. But I answered it in the most generic way where they said, "Tell me about yourself." And so I told them about myself, but that's not what they were looking for. And I wouldn't have understood what that was if I didn't take the time to dig deeper in what these questions are really looking for when they ask you during the interview. When they ask you, tell me about yourself. When they say, give me an example of a time. The structure around the interview process, I didn't understand it. And it took me a while to be able to navigate it, mainly because I wasn't utilizing my resources or asking questions. But once I started asking questions and utilizing my resources, I saw that I was able to navigate these things a lot better. And I was able to do a lot better at interviews as well, because I knew what they were looking for when they were asking me specific questions. And I knew how to sell myself a bit better. So let's go to resume building tips. So we know resumes are the holy grail of any job application process. It should reflect the job description and why you're a good fit. And when I say it should reflect the job description, what I really mean is that you shouldn't necessarily just throw in the same resume for every job application. You don't have to change everything. But if you see that a job description is asking for certain skills, and maybe you have a few of them listed, but you don't have the other ones listed, you can do a little, just a quick swap out of some skills, put the skills that they're looking for if you do have them, so that it better reflects that job description that they've put out. So I think with resumes, it's something that you continuously have to be tweaking, but you can make them generically solid for every position and just make small tweaks here and there to reflect individual positions. It should be clear and it should inform the hiring manager on your experience and capabilities. I've seen a lot of resumes, and when I read the experience, I'm still not able to decipher what they did in that position, or what their skills are, or what they learned from that position, or how much value they added. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't understand how to reflect in their resume. They feel like they feel like they just have to tell you that I worked here and these are what I've done. But I think if you start to work in the mindset of seeing how you can reflect how much value you added by working there, that will be a better push for you. So relevant information for a resume, I'm sure a lot of you know this, but I would go through it. The name, a profile / objective, which is what I would say a lot of people call a professional summary. Just really selling yourself. I would call it a sales pitch of telling them why you're the best person for the position and how all your skills have combined to allow you to be the best person for that position. You go through your area of experience, professional work experience, education. For a lot of students, if you don't have prior experience, class projects are a great way to reflect the kind of person you are and how you show up to work, how you show up to situations, how you show up to projects. Awards and other things like hobbies are something that's relevant. I know I've been asked during an interview about one of my hobbies. Someone asked me about, oh, so you were actually in a play. How was that? So that they found that interesting. They liked the fact that I had other layers to me than just the technical side, right? So really look into different things that make you unique, things that you spend your time on that you think would be a great conversation starter. I would say those are things that will be relevant for your resume as well. Sorry, another thing I would like to let you know is that it is important that you're able to speak to everything that's on your resume. I've interviewed a couple of students and I asked them about something on their resume and they're not able to talk to me about it. They're not able to tell me what that thing is that's on their resume, but then it's there. So it starts to now breed confusion for the hiring manager as to why you have this on your resume, and if maybe your resume is a phony, maybe your resume is not legitimate. So you need to be able to speak to everything on your resume, and that's something for the preparation of the interview process, where you should go through your resume beforehand, because sometimes we forget, but it's important that before every interview you go through your resume to remind yourself of everything that you have on there and to be able to speak to anything that's on your resume, even the smallest detail, to be able to say, oh, you won this award, what was the award for? Oh, you were in this competition, what was this competition for? You should be able to give them a breakdown of it and really sell them on the fact that, oh, you know exactly what you're talking about, and this is in fact your resume. So resume building tips, important contact information. That should be the first thing they should see on your resume right at the top so they know how to reach you. You don't want them scrambling for how to reach you throughout your resume. That's not good. You also want them to be able to reach you as soon as possible, I'm sure. So you make sure they have that at the top where your name is so they can reach you. Another thing I would say that's important is an objective or professional summary. Not everyone actually subscribes to the idea of a professional summary. That also varies depending on maybe experience. If you have such a variety of experience on your resume, let's say you have like, I don't know how many, but a lot of experience on your resume, maybe you favor having more space to cover those experiences versus having a professional summary. And so maybe you can neglect it if that's the case. The third resume I have here, as you can see, doesn't have any professional summary. Let me go back a slide up. Oh. Okay, so let me go a slide down just to show you that third resume. It just goes straight into the experience, has the education, has the skills. But these other resumes, they have a professional summary that really highlights why they're the best person for the job. I would say it's similar to your mini sales pitch, talking about the most important things that can strike their attention immediately for them to be able to say, okay, I want to know more about this person. It seems like they have a lot of things that we're looking for. A lot of the professional summary includes you mentioning different tools that you've worked on, you mentioning how you're able to navigate different opportunities, you just selling yourself and making yourself sound amazing to be able to land that position is very important. And to conclude on whether or not to have a professional summary, I would say it depends on how your resume is. What's the most important thing you have on your resume? How much space does it require? How can you condense it to make sure that everything looks good? So professional summaries, there's always a debate online on whether it's important or not. I would say it's very unique to each person. But if you are going to have a professional summary, just make sure that it does reflect important information. Education is very important. You don't want them searching for it, especially as for student positions. That's the first thing they want to know. They want to know that you're in school, you're enrolled. They want to know what year. They want to know what you're doing. A lot of people, for students, a lot of students like to go further into the educational section to add more details about the different courses that are relevant to that position. So if you're applying to a pharmaceutical company, you can mention the chemical engineering labs that you did that might be relevant to that position. You can go into more details about those courses, go into more specific details about projects you've worked on that you think will be interesting to the hiring manager. I would say that's something that you can do for your educational section if you want to beef it up as well. Also, adding awards there is amazing. If you wanted to add competitions or activities that are relevant to education, you can add it there as well and really make it help you stand out better. Relevant skills, like I mentioned, this is a section that you can play with all the time. This is a section I normally change on my resume. I tell people to always change it on their resume depending on the job description. So this person is obviously applying for a civil engineering position, and you see they have all these civil engineering opportunities here. If they decide that they want to switch to a different type of opportunity, this is not going to be directly reflected to other opportunities in, let's say, maybe water treatment or something like that. So they would need to extract some of those skills out and put some new skills that can better reflect the job description. Usually it's easy to do because the job description already lists out the skills that they require for that position. And so it's an easy swap. So this is the section that I would advise that you play with the most to help you stand out. Relevant experience, this is the bulk of the resume. For some people, it might not be the bulk of the resume because you're trying to build your experience and they understand that as well. But think of putting relevant things that can help you stand out, like projects you've worked on, opportunities within your communities that you've been a part of. If you started a club, if you're part of a club, if you run, if you support different organizations, anything that shows that you've put in effort into achieving a goal, I would say is relevant for your resume and is relevant experience. You just need to make sure that you're able to communicate how you added value in that situation. So this is what I was just talking about. What can help you stand out with no experience? Volunteer opportunities, community involvement, academic related group work, engineering design projects. I know that was a big thing that we all had on our resumes when I was in school because it was such a great project to display your team building skills. It was good for you to explain your leadership skills, leading the group project. It was good for you to explain how you're able to apply your knowledge, communication skills, interpersonal skills. And hobbies are a great way for them to show that, for you to show that you're a dynamic person and you have other things going on as well. And you're a fully rounded person. You like to enjoy life. You're social. People want to make sure that they can enjoy the people that they work with. So you'll be surprised how much a lot of hiring managers love to see what you're up to outside of work-related stuff. So I say hobbies are very important as well. And like I said, it's important that you can speak to everything that you have on your resume. That's usually a deal breaker if you can't. So make sure you can do that. Another couple of tips that I want to just talk about very quickly, just because I want to make sure that we are able to run through everything. Action words. Action words are the best way to help you conceptualize what you've done in the best type of way. It can help you really emphasize how much effort you put into that task. Another thing that is important, I would say, is quantifiable factors. Always think about how you can quantify the value that you added. If it's that you improved productivity by 10%, people want to see that. They'll be like, okay, so you know exactly what you were doing in that position. You know exactly how you were adding value to that position. And you can even quantify it, which is amazing. They want to know numbers like the costs that you were able to deal with, the costs you were able to save the company, how many people you worked with, how many people you led. I led a group of 5 people. They want to know quantifiable factors that lets them know that you don't play around. Like, you know exactly why you're doing things, and you know how they're adding value. An example that I have here very quickly is, this is something that you can put on your resume as one of the tasks you performed for a job, where you say answered phone calls for customers about business products. It's fine, that's what you did. But there's a better way of saying it to help them understand that you really took it seriously and you can quantify how much value you were adding. So if you say something more like proactively answered over 10 phone calls per day to provide product information to customers and support business growth. Proactively sounds a lot better. It shows that you are keen about the work that you're doing. And when you say answer 10 phone calls per day, I used to answer over 10 phone calls per day. It shows the effort that you put in. It shows more effort. Because if you say answer phone calls, maybe you're just sitting at your desk and you answer one phone call. If you say more than 10 phone calls per day, it shows that you were adding value consistently on a daily basis, and they will love to see that. And then saying to provide product information to customers. Why? Why were you providing that information to customers? To promote the business growth. So it tells the hiring manager that you understand why you're performing tasks. You understand what the end goal is, which is to support the business, to grow the business, and to move the business forward positively. Another thing that is important for resume is formatting. Formatting. I can't say it enough. Formatting is usually a deal breaker. I look at a resume sometimes, and if I see bad formatting, it's it drops some points down, because it makes me know that this person is not detail oriented. And I would say that that's something I really push for, especially for students. We're not expecting you to have too much on your resume. So they're looking for other details on your resume, like how detail oriented are you, your grammar, your punctuation, and how are you with formatting to make yourself stand out. So just a quick example on formatting issues. This is just a mock resume. This is a John Patrick, all the way in Ontario, Moonshine. But if you look at this resume, the first thing you notice is the formatting in the acquired skills section. It's a bit off. And a lot of this formatting issues that I've come across is usually inconsistent spacing, usually inconsistent date format, inconsistent font. And usually that's because of maybe issues with transferring documentation, but sometimes also just bad formatting. But there's usually situations where if you're applying for a position and you send a Word document, the formatting gets moved all around. And that's nothing to do with you, but no one knows that, right? So I would always advise that you try and change it to maybe a PDF copy if you're going to apply for the position, except they ask you for a Word copy. This will help you keep your formatting in place. And it's very simple to change files to PDF. It's just when you're saving it, you just select PDF, you change it to a PDF. But I'm just looking at this resume again, you notice that there's inconsistency. This is in caps, this is in small letters. The spacing here is off, it's not aligned properly. You can see the spacing here is tighter, here it's looser. So things like this really shows that you didn't take time to really format your resume in the best possible way, and it starts to leave the hiring manager thinking whether you're a detail-oriented person, especially if you're being hired for different positions that require you to be detail-oriented. That could count against you, even though you have amazing skills on your resume. Just briefly with action words, this I got online. If you go online and you search action words, and you can even be more specific and search action words for specific types of roles, or for specific type of tasks, and you'll see a lot of action words that can help you really stand out better. I know a lot of people, I see people using worked as, or saying worked as, or which one is very common again? There's another one that's common that people use where it's just saying, oh, I did this. And a lot of times it doesn't help reflect the work that you did well. So it's important that you're able to really look for which action word will help you stand out better. There's so many of them, so many to pick from, depending on what the task is that you performed. And so it's worth taking a look on the internet and seeing how can I stand out for different types of positions, if it's this industry or that industry, or if it's for this specific role, how can I make what I did stand out better? Which action word can I use to really quantify what I did a lot better? So moving on to cover letter. Cover letter, it's everyone's least favorite thing to do, just because I think there's a lot of lack of understanding around why you need a cover letter if you already have a resume. And I know a lot of positions are starting to phase out cover letters, but for some positions, it's still very important that you have a cover letter, and some of them will ask you for a cover letter. So it's important that you know exactly how to portray yourself in a cover letter and help you land the job. A cover letter should not regurgitate your resume. It should um, enhance all the skills that you have into one place. It should show your personality a bit more. It should show your passion. It should talk about why you want to work at that company, how you can add value to the company, and why you're excited about joining that company. So it should be more of like a story about your experience and your values, how they align with the company, and why you're excited to be there. So that's what a cover letter should have. It should not be a direct copy and paste of your resume. In fact, one paragraph is enough to talk about everything on your resume, and the other paragraph should talk about who you are as a person and how that aligns with the company, and why you're excited to work at this company, and what skills you're looking forward to applying. Those are things that would be better for you to put in your resume. Interview tips. Just before we move forward, I'm just gonna say hi to everyone again. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm sorry, I've just been speeding ahead. I just want to make sure that I go through all the information. But if you do have some questions, you can put them in the comments section down below, and we can tackle it as we go. So interview tips. This is a way for hiring managers to ask you more precise fit questions. Usually takes 30 minutes to 1 hour. Format, thanks to COVID, now includes Zoom, Microsoft Teams, but previously it was mainly phone calls. It was in-person interviews, and for those in-person interviews, it could be just by yourself, or it could be group interviews. I know a lot of consulting companies like to do group hiring sessions. So that's something to be aware of, or to be conscious of as well. And sometimes you might get one interviewer, or you might get 4 interviewers. That's something to prepare for as well. And I think a big tip for if you have multiple interviewers is just to make sure that you're acknowledging each and every one of them. You're looking at each and every one of them. If you're in person, even if you're on a Zoom call, make sure that it shows that you are addressing each and every one of them, and you are aware of all of them, and you're giving them the respect that they each individually need. It's an opportunity for your personality to shine, and demonstrating why you'd be a good fit for the position. So interviews, once I started to think in the mindset of interviews being like a chat, just a chat with a friend about my work so far. I think it really helped me in terms of the nerves, and it helped me to really understand that everyone wants me to succeed, but I just need to put my best foot forward, and it's just a conversation of me telling them why I'm a great fit. And also, one thing to know about interviews as well is that you are also interviewing them as well. It just happens at the end. But being in the mindset of you meeting with somebody to talk about why you'd be a great fit, just a good conversation would really help you and try and eliminate some of the fear that's around interviewing. People really want to hear from you. They really want to hear what you're up to. They're intrigued. That's why they've called you there. And so it's good for you to be in that mindset of trying to share your best skills, your best experiences, while also being ready to ask them questions as well and show them that you're curious about their position. Sorry, 1 second. I see. How someone has a question, how can you show gaps in your job experience, especially with COVID resulting to laydowns? Also, for people who have been in various different roles like engineering, business side, which often are opposite ends of the spectrum. Okay, so starting with the first one, how do you show gaps on your resume, especially with COVID? So COVID, the effects of COVID are many, and one of them was the different layoffs. And because of that, a lot of employers are now actually more sensitive to what COVID did to people. And in recent times, I don't think I've seen anyone. I don't. In recent times, I think I've heard more positive conversation and dialogue around gaps in resume than I did before COVID, which is a great thing. A lot of people are not even asking for explanations anymore about that gap when it comes to after 2020. So if it's after 2020, there's a lot of sensitivity that has gone into what that period did to people professionally. And so it's something that you can also speak of. It's even a way to even form more dialogue and be like, due to the effects of COVID, I also went through what a lot of people went through, where I had a downtime. It really helped me reflect on where I wanted to be and which positions I wanted. And after that, I was able to really understand that I think I would be best suited for this position or for this industry. So there's a way you can spin it to make them know that, yes, this thing happened, but what I learned from this experience is that it helped me really go back to the drawing board and see where I want to take my career to the next step. And this position is where I want to take my career to next. And that's why I was very excited when I saw this position. There's ways that you can spin it to help sell yourself better, but it's not a setback like it was before. Thanks to COVID, but it's not a setback like it was before. It's just about explaining it a lot better. And also, another way that you can explain that gap as well is you can focus more on talking about what you did with the gap versus why the gap is there. A lot of people know life happens. As long as you were not, as long as it was not a malicious situation where they let you go due to like some malicious reasons. If it's just a general company letting you go, I think it's worth you also explaining that the company was going through the situation, and due to that downtime, I was able to recalibrate myself. During that downtime, I was able to get the certification. I was able to take more time with my family. I was able to finally do certain things that I wanted to do with regards to this, and I'm grateful for that. And now it's giving me the perspective and the foresight for me to be able to do this. So it's about how you spin it. And then I see another one. As also for people who have been in various different roles, like engineering, business side, which often are in the opposite end of the spectrum. I think there's nothing wrong with you exploring different opportunities in different industries. I can't see anyone using that against you. What I would say is that you should be able to explain the value that was added from you taking those type of opportunities. So for someone like me now who has switched between different companies, a lot of people ask me, oh, so you moved from this company to that company, why? And I'm able to explain to them. I say I'm someone who's very curious. I really enjoy looking at different processes. And so when I started off at this company, I was very excited to be able to learn about the process. I gained so much skills. And at some point, I needed more of a challenge. And that allowed me to explore new opportunities in this industry. And this industry was going to expose me to new processes, new software, new tools, new experiences. And I was very excited about the possibilities of applying the skills I do have into this position and gaining new skills. And they'll be like, okay, that makes sense. And then furthermore, into switching into another position, you mentioned that again. It's all about you just explaining why you're making these moves and really having a reason behind your movements as well. You can talk about how the best things you enjoyed when you were running engineering projects were the cost planning side of it, the budgeting, and really seeing how you can really navigate through different cost constraints to be able to successfully complete the budget. And tell them, as you know, everything is a business. There's just about how you're going to spin it. Tell them everything is a business. And so I thought it would be worth me trying to see if I can explore this knack that I have for business a bit further. And so I made the switch to take a position in the business sector, and I worked as this. I gained valuable skills with this, which can now help me with different opportunities around project planning, blah, 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 this, that. And I would be happy to reapply them back into the engineering industry. So that's how you go around things. People are just curious. Nothing is, I would say a lot of times, I always say nothing is really a deal breaker with regards to how you navigate your career. It's just about how you're able to talk about your process, if that makes sense. An explanation we can provide during interview, or some resumes don't get selected. Okay. Okay, let's move on so we can finish up. It's an opportunity for you to personally shine and demonstrate why you'll be a great fit for the position. If you do have any more questions, put them down below. And I hope I was able to answer your question, Dave. We can definitely chat some more after, but let me move on just so we can touch on a couple of things. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. Commonly asked questions. Tell me about yourself. This used to be my least favorite question. Now it's my favorite question. It's about really just selling yourself. It's almost like a sales pitch. Telling them about yourself in about 3 minutes, I would say. Tell them about yourself in about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. They really want to know more about you as a person and how you align to the role. So an example would be saying like, oh, I'm someone who would describe myself as this, that, and that. This has shown through from the way I've been able to navigate myself professionally and academically. You talk about your program that you're in. You talk about why you're so interested in this type of industries. You talk about where you want to be in the next couple of years and how this is taking you one step closer. And you tell me about yourself by telling them why you're excited about this position. So tell me about yourself. You say all of that, and then you end it with, this is why I'm so excited about this position, and I'm looking forward to an opportunity where I can hopefully apply myself into this position. So you kind of end it by saying, but you end it by talking about the position and the role. That's how you end tell me about yourself. It's a very tricky question because you think it's all innocent and personable, but they really want to see how you're able to give them the journey of your progress so far, and also talk about why you're a good fit for the position. Let me see. Okay. So what do you know about a company? That's simple to do. Go on the website, talk about what's resonated with you. If you like that they're a diverse company, if you like that they're a company that really provides growth opportunities, really find unique things about the company. Don't go regurgitate the website, the company website, talking about this company was founded in 1960. No. They're asking you more about what you resonate with. So what do you know about a company? Oh, I know that this is the leading company in this is that. I know this is also a company that's passionate about all these things, which I'm also passionate about, which is why I was very excited about applying to this position. Then you go on your spiel. That's exactly how you encapsulate the question, give it to them in a way that they know that, okay, this person is very interested about this position and our company. They want to know you're excited about their company. They want to know that you want to join the company, right? Why should we hire you? Another sales pitch. You talk about how this is your passion. You talk about the skills you have, and you really sell it to them as to why you'd be the great candidate. Talk about your people skills as well, and your soft skills, and how you're able to work great with the team. How you're looking forward to driving business success. So those are things you mentioned. And why should we hire you? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Strengths, I think most people can answer that. Weakness is where I want to touch on very quickly. Weaknesses is never, you should never say a weakness without talking about how you're currently working towards resolving that. First of all, you should also never say a weakness that is directly linked to what they need you to perform in that task. If they say we need someone who's highly organized for this position, you cannot say that your weakness is that you're not organized. You have to say something slightly off related to the job description. And once you say that, for example, oh, I'm not that great at coding, but I've been curious about it and I've taken a couple of courses so far that I've been able to expand my horizon a bit further, but I would like the opportunity to maybe gain some skills around that just because I see that's where the future is headed. So coding might not be directly linked to that position, but it shows them that you know things that you can work on and why they're important for you to work on, if that makes sense. How do you deal with challenges? They want to know how resilient you are. They want to know how you're able to bounce back from hard situations, which is a normal thing to ask. Example questions are very common. These are some of the common ones that I put here. Give me an example of a time that you worked in a team, which is very common. So you tell them a time that you worked in a team, and then you tell them about what you did when working in that team, and you tell them about the success by working in that team. Same thing with the others as well. Example of a, sorry, I put team there, but it's example of a time where you had to meet a deadline. It's just about giving them that example as well, how you performed that and what the results were. Same thing for the other one, but I should have put it on the slide. But another thing I would like to say for this example questions is that you need to make sure that you're always using the STAR method. You can Google it and take some notes on it. The STAR method allows you to say the situation, the task, the action, and always end with results. They want to know that you were able to finalize things and end it in results. Some interview tips for you. Confidence is key, but being nervous is normal. They expect you to be nervous. If I'm interviewing students, I expect them to be nervous if it's unfamiliar territory for them. Even if you're not a student, it's okay to be nervous. You just need to make sure it doesn't obstruct the process of you being able to tell your story and tell them why you're a great fit. Something that has helped me, and I know it helps a lot of people, is taking deep breaths. I find that sometimes when I'm nervous, I'm a bit shaky or I'm just a bit frazzled. But if you take deep breaths, it kind of slows your heart rate. It's actually science. So that's something that you can do to help you. And I know power posing is something that was very popular a few years ago, where if you put yourself in power positions, like your hands on your waist beforehand, it really helps you to be in that mindset of leadership and be in that mindset of taking charge. Preparing with someone, if possible, I would always advise that. Sorry, I see a comment. Okay, sorry. Thank you for answering that. Okay. Um, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Prepare with someone if possible. Yes, I find that a lot of times we prepare by ourselves and we don't understand the different things that we're missing, or maybe that we're going so fast. Like now, I'm going really fast because I'm trying to go through all the slides. But sometimes you're talking so fast and you don't even know it. But when you prepare with someone, they're able to say, "Oh, do you know that? Do you know you rap?" When you're explaining things, and that can help you really pace yourself a bit better. So prepare with someone, and that person can even give some perspective as well. And like, oh, I like it when you said this. Oh, this sounded weird. It's always. I recommend getting someone else's perspective. Always have 2 to 3 questions ready to ask the interviewer. It is now considered a deal breaker if you don't have questions to ask after the interview. If you say, "Oh no, I think you answered everything for me," they don't want to hear that. They want to know that you are curious about them as well. They want to know that you have questions to ask them about their company, and you also are keen on understanding what you're getting yourself into. It's also a deal that you're brokering as well. So I think being in that mindset allows you to have autonomy as well over your decision making. You have a lot of opportunities out there. They're not the only ones, hopefully, but just be in that mindset. I want to know why. your company is how your company is doing with regards to diversity. I want to know how your company has changed after COVID and what that means for the culture, so the work culture. Ask very poignant questions about the company. Ask about, if you want to know more about the technical side of things, ask technical questions. Ask behavior, ask cultural fit questions. Ask questions that lets them know that you know what the company is up to, and you're thinking about how that would affect you joining them. Practice timing always. YouTube videos, great resource. Glassdoor, another great resource, because some people share their answers and you see that they got the job, so that helps as well. Share what makes you unique. I think a lot of times when I interview people, when they ask me to tell me about yourself, and I tell them, oh, I'm an immigrant from Nigeria. I came here by myself when I was 16. They're like, wow, that's impressive. How did you survive? It's a conversation starter as well. If I tell them that, oh, if I put it on my resume that I was on a TV show and like that helped me really understand how to present myself better, they want to hear that. They'd be like, wow, that's so unique. Present what makes you unique, because they remember you after that. They'd be like, oh, the football guy, or oh, the TV girl. Just make sure that you're also thinking about how you can stand out and stay in their memory. Always understand that they're interested to get to know you and they want you to shine. No one is working against you. They want you to succeed. And you have to be in the mindset of, they want me to succeed. I'm going to succeed. I got this. That's the mindset you always have to be in. Lastly, I would say it's always important that you send a thank you letter. Email is actually what I mean, but send a thank you email always. If you have the email of the hiring manager, send a thank you note. If you don't have the email of the other people that you interviewed with, send an email to the hiring manager, thanking the hiring manager and saying, please extend my thanks to these people as well. Very important. And sometimes it's a deal breaker when you don't send one. And then lastly, the power of networking. Networking is so important when being an immigrant in a new country. It's how you're able to navigate this space. It's how you're able to enjoy this new environment. A lot of networking has helped me get a lot of opportunities, and has helped a lot of people get a lot of opportunities. At some point, they'll tell you that in your career, the more you advance, a lot of positions that you get is going to be due to networking versus you actually applying for positions directly. I've gotten a lot of positions due to networking. A lot of opportunities I've gotten was due to networking. My last position was due to networking. I would say it's important that you're talking to people and you let them know what you're up to. Employment events are great. Make sure you have an introductory pitch. Make sure that when you do go for networking events that you know are employment focused, you are also ready. If they say, oh, nice talking to you, how can I stay in touch with you? Make sure you have a resume, or if it's not that kind of event, make sure you have an info card, or you say, please connect with me on LinkedIn. So make sure you have a LinkedIn profile. So LinkedIn is also a great resource that I would push for. Make sure you're on there. This is the digital age. Everyone wants to be connected digitally. So make sure you have your digital footprint on there. Social media is also a great tool for job search. A lot of opportunities. I've seen people just post on their social media. Maybe they're frustrated and they say, please, I'm looking for a job. I've been searching for about 2 months. If you know anything about this type of positions, please let me know. And you see people reaching out. You see people saying, oh, I actually know a company that's hiring. Let me know if you're interested. I'll send you the details. And that's just how it goes. So be open-minded to meeting people, discussing your struggles, connecting with people, not even just to necessarily get jobs, but also just to start forming a network. And you'll be surprised how things come together and align eventually. So be in that mindset of networking. Just to conclude quickly, so I can take some questions. So I would say, just to conclude quickly, knowledge is power. The more you know, the better your chances. Please be curious. I'm so impressed that you guys took the time out of your busy schedules to come on this for this session. And I hope it was value added as well. But this type of curiosity is what takes you one step further. Hopefully, if you see something else that can give you some insight on things that you're struggling with, you go for that as well. You open your perspective, you open your mindset as to what you need to do to get one step closer. Always be open-minded about how you can learn better, or how you can gain better skills and better tools. So that's something that I will always push for. I would say utilize all the resources around that can help you reach your goals, including your university. There's a lot of opportunities within the university, outside of the university, everywhere. And the last thing is that things are very challenging. If it was easy, everybody would have things going their way, right? So it is challenging. Just understand that and be easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. If you're doing what needs to be done, and you're covering your bases, and you're doing your own part, be kind to yourself to know that the process would eventually actualize for you. So that's what I would say. Thank you all. I'm just gonna look at the comment section very quickly, and I want to do our raffle, so that's why I'm speeding so fast. But thank you to our sponsors. These are all the sponsors. Thank you all for attending. Thank you, National Engineering Month. Thank you, OSPE. Okay, let me go and see if we have any questions. Okay, I'm being told there's only 5 minutes left in the session. Okay, so let me see which are the names that we have here. If you're interested in the resume session, please just put yes down below, and I'll take this collated amount of people. So I see Maddie. Stop sharing. So Maddie, okay. I found this cool tool online where I can do like a raffle. So I'm gonna use it. Maddie. Okay, so it's just, I see just Maddie and Dave. So if they're the only two people, I might not have to do the raffle. Oh, I see another person. Okay. Dave. All right, guys, it's just gonna be two people, so we're gonna have to use this raffle. Is anyone else interested? Okay. And put your email down below, everyone, just so I can email you after. I'll take a picture as well. Oh, I think I have your email. No, I think I have your email, so it's okay. Okay, so just 3 people. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Since it's just 3 people, the 3 of you, I would give you a free resume editing service. I'm very happy that you all joined. I'm happy we're able to connect. And I would be looking forward to connecting with the 3 of you for a free resume editing session. And hopefully we get your resumes looking beautiful and ready for all the positions. So I have your email. So Dave, I have your email that was sent to me from the list, and then I would contact you all directly from there. But thank you all for joining. I hope this was informative. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always very open to connecting and answering any questions and just networking. So yes, definitely find me on LinkedIn if you want to. Let me put my full name in the description. That's how you spell my name. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you.